Good afternoon, students. So today we are going to discuss what we left in the previous class. We will start from there. So in the previous class, we were discussing cardinal utility approach. So to measure the utility, in that we have discussed the total utility, marginal utility, and now we will start with the demand. What is demand? What is demand curve? What is this law of demand says? So what do you mean by demand? Demand is the willingness of a consumer to buy a product and he can offer it. We can say the willingness of a consumer to buy a commodity and he is able to offer. So demand for that particular commodity means that it is the willingness of a consumer to buy the particular commodity X and he should be able to offer that commodity. Then only we can say there is a demand for that commodity X. Okay, that we can define in this way. Now, for example, I'll go to vegetable market and I'm willing to buy tomato, but and whenever we discuss, always remember that there is a scarce resources. The resources are limited. Okay. So when I go to vegetable market, you can see two products: tomato, onion. Okay, so we can observe how the price of these two commodities behaves. So sometimes there is no demand at all for tomato, but sometimes the price will go and reach very high, and sometimes it's very difficult to offer this tomato. The same with onion. तो लिटरली कभी कभी आंसू आ जाता है ऑनियन बाय करने में, ये उतना प्राइस बढ़ जाता है ऑनियन का. तो सपोज व्हेन वी से डिमांड, आई want to buy onion 1 kg. There is a willingness, but the price of the onion is 200 rupees. Think that the price of the onion is 200 rupees. Even though I have the willingness to buy, can I afford this? Because with my limited resources, I can't afford to buy 1 kg of onion. So what I'll do, I'll reduce this to 1/4 of quantity. I'll go with 250 grams. So here we can say there should be willingness as well as ability to offer that product. We can say that is a demand for that particular commodity. Now, how we can draw the curve of demand? What do you mean by demand curve? Demand curve is a graphical representation of we can say the demand curve is the graphical representation of various quantities of a commodity that a consumer is willing to buy at different price of the same product. So, how we can define this demand curve? What do you mean by demand curve? It is a graphical representation of various quantities of a commodity that a consumer is willing to buy at different price of the same commodity. It means that we will take a commodity apple, okay? Same commodity, we can represent the consumer's willingness, how much he wants to buy when there is a different price. It means that the price here and quantity. Okay, so what is his willingness to buy this apple with respect to price? Okay, suppose the apple per kg it is 200, or we can say per unit. If the price of one apple is 100 rupees, supposing that a price of an apple is 100 rupees and I have the limited resource, how much I can afford? I can buy only one. My willingness is only one. I can go with one apple. So if it is 80, I can say 50 rupees, I can afford to, the willingness here is I can go with 2 apples. If it is 30, I'll buy 3 apples. If it is 10 rupees, I'll buy more in number. I can afford 10, okay, I can buy 10 or 8 if the price is low. So with this, if we put these numbers, represent these numbers in a graphical way, we can say that it's a demand curve. It is a graphical representation of various quantities of a commodity apple that a consumer is willing to buy. What is my willingness to buy this apple at a different price of the same product? So what is price of the apple? It differs. Okay, when there is a change in the price, what is my willingness to buy this apple? What are my various quantities I am willing to buy when there is a change in the price. Here it is same product. When the price changes, what is my willingness to buy that product in terms of quantity? So it is simple understanding, right? If the price is high, our willingness is low. When there is a lower price, our willingness to buy that commodity is high. So we can say that, and we can put that in a graphical way. We can represent that data in graphical way. So how we can do that? Here y-axis is price and x-axis is quantity. Okay, and the commodity here is apple. The commodity is apple, and in the y-axis we are taking price, and in the x-axis we are taking quantity. Okay, now we will put these numbers in the graphical way. $20, $40, $60, $80, $100. Quantity here is okay. So this is quantity of apple, and this is price of the apple. What is the demand curve says? What is my various quantity of commodity that a consumer is willing at different price of the same product? So here we are trying to find out the willingness of the consumer of that particular commodity at different price. Okay, so if the price of the apple is 100 rupees, this is 150. Okay, so if the price of the apple is 150, can I afford that? No. If the price is very high, the willingness is zero there. So here we cannot expect any quantity to buy that product. If the price is 100 rupees, I can afford one. My willingness is 1. If price is less, suppose it's 50 rupees, then I can afford 2 apples. If the price is 30, I can afford 3 apples. And if the price is 10, I can afford 8 to 10 apples. The same. So if you join these points, the demand curve looks like this. Here it is 0. When there is very high price, then we can expect zero willingness. When there is less price, we can see unlimited willingness to buy that product. So this is demand curve. When there is a very high price, the demand for that particular product or the willingness to buy that particular product is zero, and if the price reduces, then the demand increases. This is how the curve looks, and we can put the demand curve inverse in this way. It is graphical representation of various quantities of a commodity that a consumer is willingness to buy at different price of the same commodity. For the same apple, what is the different price, and when there is change in the price, what is his willingness to buy that product. So this is the demand curve. Okay, now next thing is law of demand. What is this law says? As we already discussed, the law of demand says the same thing. When there is a high price is very high, the willingness to buy that product is less. If the price is less, then the willingness to buy that product is high. When the price is high, willingness is less. When the price is less, the willingness is high. Willingness is more to buy that product. That is the law of demand. Now, how we can put this in word? The law of demand says there is a negative relationship between price of the commodity and quantity demanded. Which refers to as the law of demand. So, as we know, there is a negative relationship between the price of the commodity and the quantity demanded. What do you mean by that? There is a negative relationship means if the price is high, the willingness is low. When price is high, willingness is low. When the price is less, the willingness is high. So that is why they are negatively related. If this is more, this is less. If this is less, this is more. That is why we call it as they are in negative relation. So we call this nature of the demand as law of demand. I repeat, law of demand means the negative relationship between the price of the commodity and quantity demanded. Price of the commodity and the quantity demanded. there is a negative relationship. We can call it as law of demand. Right? Now, we know what do you mean by demand, what is the demand curve, and what is law of demand. Demand is, it is willingness of a consumer to buy a commodity, and he should be able to afford that. It should be willingness as well as be able to offer that product. We can say demand. And the demand curve says it is a graphical representation of the willingness of the buyer with respect to different prices. We can say the law, the demand curve. Here, what is the willingness of the consumer at different price of the commodity, whether he wants to buy more or less with respect to different price of the commodity, and we will keep the commodity same for the same product. What is his willingness when there is a different price? If we put that in a graphical way, this curve, we say that as demand curve. Right? Now, the next topic is law of demand, and the law of demand says that there is always a negative relationship between the price of the commodity and the quantity demanded. If the price increases, demand decreases. If the price decreases, demand increases. The willingness to buy the product increases. So that is law of demand. These are all about cardinal utility approach. In cardinal utility, we know what do you mean by total utility, marginal utility, and what is demand, how that demand curve behaves, and what is the law of demand. Law of demand is if price is high, the willingness is low, and if the price is less, willingness is high. So that comes under cardinal approach, which is to measure the utility. To measure utility, first method we have discussed, that is cardinal approach, and second method is ordinal approach. Now we are going to discuss about ordinal approach. Ordinal utility analysis. Okay. In cardinal approach, what it says, we can measure the utility in terms of numbers, but in reality, the consumer will not mention his utility in terms of number. It is, in reality, it is not very true to say that the consumer always measures in terms of numbers, but we can say he can rank the utility. Suppose we know, for our understanding, for discussion, we have only two products in the market, A and B. So what we call for this is consumption bundle. Consumption bundle means combination of amount of two goods. The combination of amount of these two goods we'll call it as consumption bundle. Correct? So we have one bundle, one combination here, and we have the second combination of the same product. Okay, product are same, I can say apple and banana. A for apple, B for banana. So this is one combination, and other combination is another combination is 6 apple, 15 banana. And you can say another combination and take these numbers we can use in the table and graph as well. That's why we take these numbers. Okay. So these are the different combinations. These are different bundles. So here 1 apple, 15 banana, 2 apple, 12 banana, 3 apples, 10 banana, and 4th apple with 9 bananas. So in ordinal approach, we can say the consumer can rank his satisfaction in terms of when he consumes these bundles. Okay, so he can rank between the bundles. So when he consumes this set of goods, and if he consumes this set of goods, he can rank. Okay, when I had this bundle, this combination, I was more happy. He's telling he is more happy compared to his first bundle. Okay, so here he is ranking his satisfaction, whether more or less, whether he is more satisfied with this bundle or less satisfied with the consumption of combination of those goods. So when the consumer is ranking his satisfaction, this approach we will tell that it is ordinal utility analysis. So we can say if the consumer is how he is measuring his utility in terms of ranks. If the consumer is measuring his utility in terms of ranks when he consumes this combination of goods, whether he is more satisfied or less satisfied, this ranking method we call it as ordinal utility approach. Right? So we can say it is a bit difficult to measure the utility in terms of number, but we can rank a satisfaction level, whether they are more satisfied or less satisfied. We can rank consumption bundle rather numbering is utility or satisfaction. So consumer rather prefers ranking the consumption bundle than numbering his satisfaction for that particular commodity. So ranking method, as we know, we will say this as an ordinal utility analysis. So what we can say is the consumer can rank consumption bundle rather numbering his utility or satisfaction for that particular commodity. This ranking method we will say that it is ordinal approach. There is we can understand the topics in a simple way by knowing what it is telling. Here it says indifference curve. The curve which is indifferent. Here what do you mean by indifference? Indifference means there is no difference. No difference about what? There is no difference in his utility. So if we understand this, then we understand this concept. Okay? So what is indifference here? It is his satisfaction level is indifferent. Means there is no difference in his satisfaction level. It means that we will try to find out a combination of goods and try to find out his satisfaction level. For example, bundle is of two products, apple and banana, correct? So here this is combination. Okay. Now we will consider first combination, combination A, where he can consume 1 apple and 15 bananas. This is one combination. As I said, when he consumes in indifference curve in this concept, as we already know, indifference means there is no difference in his satisfaction level. So when he uses this combination, this utility level, his satisfaction is X, you can say. So there is no change in this satisfaction level. There is no difference here. Whatever the combination we will go with, B combination, C combination and D combination. Here we are trying to find out the combination of two goods. Here 1 apple, 15 banana. If he wants to go with this combination, here he will have 2 bananas for, sorry, 2 apples for banana. This is one more combination. When he will go with this combination, what is his satisfaction level? In this combination also, the satisfaction will remain same. It's X only. Okay. So we will try to find out the combinations which gives him same satisfaction level. Okay. I'll repeat that. Here we are trying to find out the combination which gives him same satisfaction. Right? With 1 apple and 15 banana, it is X satisfaction, and with 2 apples and 12 banana, is again the satisfaction is X only. And now we will try to find out the third combination. Here he will try to have 3 apples and 10 banana. In this combination also, his satisfaction level is same, keeping his satisfaction level same. And in this fourth combination D, here he consumes 4 apples and he will reduce the banana by 9. Okay, so why he can consume all the 4 apples and 15 bananas, right? We can't do that because, as we know, the resources are limited. With resources limited, with this limited resource only, he has to select the combination with whatever available income. he can afford only one apple, 15 banana. If he wants to increase the apple, he needs to reduce the number of bananas because resources are limited. That is why we are trying to find out this combination where his satisfaction level is same. Keeping his utility same, we will try to find out the combinations which use the same satisfaction. Now, if you plot this data in the graph, the curve, whatever curve you get, that curve we will call it as indifference curve. Got it? It's simple. Okay. If you try to plot this data and get a curve where he is trying to find out the combination which using same satisfaction level, that curve, what we get, we call it as indifference curve. Now we'll see how this curve looks like. Here I take banana and here it is apple. Okay, so here he wants to consume one apple, he can go with 15 bananas. Okay. If he wants one additional apple, then he needs to reduce bananas from 15 to 12. This is because of limited resources. And if he wants one more apple, then he needs to reduce in quantities from 12 to how much? We have taken 10. Right? Then if he wants the fourth apple, he wants to reduce banana by from 10 to 9. Here. Okay? So these are combinations. 1, 15, 1 apple, 15 banana. Here it is 2 apple, 12 banana. Here it is 3 apple, 10 bananas. And here it is 4 apple, 9 bananas. These are the bundles. So what is his satisfaction level is? Here is it is same. We can say X. If we mention this is his satisfaction level, if we go with this combination in all these points, his satisfaction level remains same. To keep his satisfaction level same, what are the different combinations we can select, having our resources limited? So we will get this curve like this. Okay, this curve we'll call it as indifference curve. Indifference curve means here his utility is same with different combination of goods. Right? How we can put that in word? The consumer is said to be indifferent A consumer is said to be indifferent on the different bundles because each point of the bundle gives the consumer equal utility. Okay, what do you mean by indifference curve? Here, the consumer is said to be indifferent on the different bundles. On the different bundle, these points are bundles. So, consumer is said to be indifferent on the different bundles because each point of the bundle gives the consumer equal utility. That is why we call it as indifferent curve. Because whatever the points we are seeing, the curve, the points we can say indifference curve is the points which were joining here are the bundles where the consumer's utility is same. Indifference curve means these are the points. If you join these points, we'll get a curve where the consumer's utility is indifferent. So this curve will be called as indifference curve. Such a curve joining here, whatever points we got, such a curve joining all points representing bundles which the consumer is indifferent. Okay, I'll read it again. Here, the consumer is said to be indifferent. He is indifferent here with his satisfaction level on the different bundles. On the different bundles, his satisfaction level is same because each point of the bundles gives the consumer same utility, equal utility. Okay, so how we can say this indifference curve? This is such a curve joining all the points. The curve joining all the points representing bundles. These points are bundles. Okay, the joining of all the points which represent bundles where the consumer is indifferent. The points which we are joining, represents bundles where the consumer is indifferent. Here the consumer is indifferent means his utility remains same on these points. So we can call it as indifference curve. Okay, now there are two more topics here. Marginal rate of substitution and the law of diminishing marginal rate of substitution. Marginal rate of substitution and law of diminishing marginal rate of substitution. What do you mean by marginal rate of substitution and what this law says? Here, marginal rate of substitution means this is banana and this is apple, correct? The marginal rate of substitution means to substitute banana with apple. Okay. If he wants more banana, he has to forego with apple. It means that to increase in number of banana, need to reduce in number of apples. So this is about marginal rate of substitution. So we will discuss this topic in the next class. And today's Ganesha Chaturthi. Happy Ganesha Chaturthi to everyone. Have a good time. Thank you.